Hello there, YouTube. I am Necrostevo. Thank you for being here today, for it is time that I show you our team for Stage 2 in PPL NX. Up first, a reminder about the rules for this league. In Stage 1, we went 1-4 and then immediately lost out in the Bronze League. But we have a chance for redemption. In Stage 2, we will draft a brand new team, this time with low-tier open Terra on those other Pokemon. So that means that there's a much bigger draft pool, but in addition to that, any Pokemon that we draft with Terra availability, they can Terra into any type. A small caveat is that we're playing with open Terra, so even though I can pick any Terra type, before the battle begins, opponents must exchange Terra types. So, now that you all understand the rules, let's get into the team that we chose. Up first, for this theme team, I was going for like a masquerade ball type theme here, and I wanted some Pokemon that I hadn't used alongside things that I was a little bit more familiar with. Our first pick was Meowscarada, one of the fastest things on the board, and I've never had the pleasure of using it before. It normally gets drafted before I get to it. So we went with Meowscarada for our first pick, and our second pick, because we were the wheel pick, was Galarian Slowking. Now, if ever there were like a despot or someone who's in a spooky castle with a crown and trying to hold a ball, that would totally be Galarian Slowking. I went with Galarian Slowking and Meowscarada as the first two picks, just because of the weirdness of those two picks. Number one, totally opposite ends of the spectrum, but a lot of defensive synergy between the two, in addition to Meowscarada being an all-around utility / offensive Pokemon that's also very speedy and forces a lot of building on the Choice Scarf side of things. After those two, I decided to go with Thundurus Incarnate form. So last stage we had Thundurus in its Therian form, and so here we're going to hold that reveal glass up and switch that same Pokemon over to the Incarnate form. I paired it with Arcaludon, and Arcaludon is the bridge that leads up to the spooky castle, and Thundurus is the horrible storm that's going on the outside of the castle during it. So that is why I put those two Pokemon there for the theme, but also that is great manual rain alongside a very offensive Pokemon, and Thundurus, much like Meowscarada, can go physical, utility, or special, and Arcaludon, we had a lot of fun with that with PPL Season 3, so we are very familiar with how to utilize Arcaludon's different capabilities throughout the battle. Our next picks were Quaquaval and Ogerpon Cornerstone. So you can see we've gone pretty offensive with our first 6 picks. I was very surprised that I was able to pick up Ogerpon when I did. But because of how the point spreads were going, I was prioritizing getting some of those other Pokemon first, just because I thought that they would be more likely to get picked up based off of what I was seeing from the other teams. Being the last pick versus in Stage 1 where I was the first pick, really allowed me to kind of sit back and see what happened, because there's no real point in planning when you have the last pick. You just want to see what's on the board and then go with your wheel pick. So this does make twice in PPL in the last 3 things that I've played where I've had the last pick, which is kind of odd, but that is okay. Quaquaval naturally pairs up well with Meowscarada. They are both going to be not only doing tricks or dancing, but also Quaquaval just has a really good offensive presence for the team. I've started to learn that I really like having kind of dual dipping on Pokemon here, and you'll see what I mean by that in a little bit. But by a little bit I mean right now, because now we have 2 offensive grass types that do very different things. The other thing that's nice with Ogerpon Cornerstone is that it gives me a reliable rock type move. We saw it in the Season 3 of PPL when I had Terrakion, or no, Season 2 of PPL when I had Terrakion. that I was just not doing well with rock-type moves coming out of that. So I need a reliable rock-type move, and Ogerpon using Ivy Cudgel in the Cornerstone means we have that. After that, my next two picks were Primarina and Avalugg, and Avalugg is actually my first Pokemon that can Terra. And I did really like the options coming out of Avalugg. I will admit that I went into this draft going, I'm drafting Avalugg. And that is primarily due to my partner wanting to see me use Avalugg. Shoutouts to my partner and editor, Stariana. I love you. I have not really battled with Avalugg before, and I'm going to be very transparent there. But Avalugg is also the table. It's the dance floor at the party. Like, it's going to be great for both of those. As much as Meowscarada and Ogerpon and Quaquaval need something to dance on or a table to eat off of, Avalugg can serve that role. Now, I did like Primarina here. I have used it previously. Primarina kind of does the same thing that I did with Ogerpon and Meowscarada that I did with Quaquaval and Primarina, and that is doubling up on the water types, but for a very, very different reason. And bulky water types are just so good across a variety of different roles that I could either overwhelm with water offense or look for other avenues to utilize those two Pokemon together. So I did enjoy picking up Primarina at that junction. My last two picks are Skeledirge and Palossand. Palossand is obvious, right? It's literally the castle. Okay. It can also Terra, which I thought was very cool, and I really look forward to having opportunities to use its water compaction ability, Terra into a type that resists water, and then get +2 on the defensive side. I think that's going to be very, very fun to get eventually. Skeledirge is totally the pairing right here. I have the 3 starters from the Paldea region right here, and not only is there obvious defensive synergy between them, but I get some nice defensive synergy between it and my Palossand and my Avalugg. And on top of all that, I have multiple singers in this ball. So I have Primarina singing, we have Skeledirge singing, we have multiple dancers, we have the tricks, the storm is howling on the outside, the king and the queen on the inside are chilling because they are hosting the coolest ball ever inside of a gigantic Palossand. So that is the team that we have drafted. Thank you all for watching this brief draft analysis video, and look forward to videos all this week as we take on stage 2 in the PPL NX. Good night, everyone.